Hello and welcome back to the PokerStars.net European Poker Tour. We're in Berlin for the main event, and for the first time all the players remaining in the tournament are sat round one table, but it will not be the official final table until we are down to the final 8. So these are the 9 players who remain. These are the players in seat order, and you can still see a lot of German flags out there. More than half the remaining players are from the host nation. And let's have a look at the players in chip order. Lasse Frost, the Dane, has the chip lead just ahead of Roman Harold. And Roman Koronev, the Russian online qualifier, is the shortest stack. He's got 28 big blinds. So we're still playing 30-60 with a 10k ante. We're only 5 minutes into the level. It's James Hartigan and Joe Stapleton calling the action, and we are joined by an EPT champion, a Triple Crown winner. It is ElkY from Team PokerStars Pro. So sick.
So sick, James. How are you doing?
Bienvenue, ElkY. What's up, man?
How are you? I didn't win the high order back-to-back. I never win the same tournament twice. It's pretty sick, actually. Why not? I don't understand. Oh, God.
And when he says that, by the way, he genuinely doesn't
it.
understand.
Does
It's not a
not
bit.
understand.
That's
It
two
makes
things
his
that
head
never
hurt.
happened. First, I never won the same tournament twice, and I never won like 2 tournaments in a row. That's kind of crazy.
I don't know what's going on.
What's going on? Why? Oh my God. It's down to 9. Oh, Calvin Anderson and Olivier Busquet both busted.
Yes.
Yeah, Busquet went out a
That's
while
not
ago.
good.
Anderson was one of the last to go out, though.
Anderson was the last player out in 10th.
It's like all European players. Crazy.
Indeed. An all-European final table guaranteed.
What a thing to happen on the European Poker Tour.
Well, European Poker Tour means the tournaments take place in Europe. They're truly an international affair, Joe.
Right. France and Germany and all the other countries in Europe.
No, but there's a lot more Americans here and some other stops, I think, right?
Yeah, I think probably PCA would be the most American heavy, but after that,
Yeah, but
there's a decent contingent.
Berlin
I'd
and
say
Monaco, Berlin and Monaco have a lot of American. I don't know what.
Yeah,
those
Monaco
stats,
too.
but that
Not
was-
a ton
I've got the stats here. I've got
Not a
the
ton
stats
of
here.
Americans in Deauville.
Third highest number of players were from the USA. It was Germany
Oh.
30%, Russia 7%, USA 5%.
Oh, they're pretty deep. There's nobody really short. It might take forever. It's probably gonna take forever, actually. Because nobody usually wanna bust in that spot, so they're not like.
Yeah, I mean,
Unless there's a really big cooler confrontation, it's gonna be.
You know, before a big hand develops here, I would like to talk to ElkY a little bit about your hand versus Davide Katai
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
on day 1.
that was like really sick. Actually, what happened that hand. So basically, I opened like under the gun at 153, and I think he had like 20k, and I covered him. And I opened black 9s, and he flats middle position, and everyone else folded. And the flop came king 9-7 with 2 diamonds and 1 club. It was pretty much perfect. And but I think there's not so much point you will lead there because I mean, if he has a big hand, he's gonna bet it for me. And he's usually I play with him, and he's usually not he's not crazy. He's not the kind of guy to like pay me off so light either. He doesn't like pay me off very light, so that's why I'd rather like check call in that spot, because if he doesn't have a king, I'm super unlucky. Even if he has a king, it's gonna be hard to get free streets of value. But if he doesn't have it, I don't think I can get free streets. So I check called his flop bet. That was pretty small, 900, and turn was 8 of clubs. So now there's 2 clubs. It's not like a really good card, and I was thinking I might check raise, but actually when so I checked and he bet 2800, and he, like, I don't. Kazo, he was really strong in that spot also, because I don't think he double bars, and I think he would get a lot of free cards. But the king was actually another club, so it's kind of important, because if he bets with a king, he can't really have the clubs combination in his hand, because
Right.
like, he could flat pre-flop with like king queen of clubs or king jack of clubs, but that's like impossible because the king was a club. So I think like, yeah, he has like a lot of sets, 2 pairs or jack 10, or like in when he bet the turn. I don't think he has many kings actually, because it's not really a good card for him if he doesn't like. If he has just a king, it's not really a good card, because he's gonna probably think the same as I, that he can't really get free streets, and there's like it's like super unlikely I'm like check calling a diamond draw on the flop,
Okay.
and so he could have diamonds, but like I don't think he will barrel that heavy with a king. So I decided to flat only, and the river was a 4 of clubs. Checked again, and now he bets 6,800, which was like he tanked a bit and bet 6,800, and I really thought it was a value bet. But on the other hand, like I mean I really I thought it was a good chance that I was good, but I wasn't sure he would like. That's kind of crazy that he folded a straight in that spot. I thought like he could have a set, and like I thought he has more sets than he might pay off or
So when
fold
you raised him,
than
you raise him on the river, and you were value raising.
yeah, I was mostly value raising actually. I thought there is a small possibility that he has a straight, but like I didn't think he would fold. Actually, I would think he would call a set more often than he would fold a straight for sure, because like also but he really can't have clubs. Like it's definitely much more possible. Also, I have 9 of clubs. It's much more possible for me to have uh, flushes in my range than him, because I really could have like
Well, obviously, yeah, he thought it was more possible
yeah
for you to have flushes in your range.
yeah. So because I have like 9, 10 of clubs, or like Jack 9 of clubs, all those hands, I would probably play it pretty similar way.
Hmm.
And but when he said he had a straight, I was like, what the fuck? That's really sick.
And then you
And
decided to show him.
yeah, I wasn't gonna show too. I was like, when he said he had a
That's when you
straight,
tap the table and go, good fold.
I
Good fold.
really believed him. You know, and he started tanking. I'm like, fuck, if it takes that long, he's probably gonna fold it.
Was there any point where you got nervous when he tanked that long that you were going to get called?
Actually, when he's, I think,
Because there's a certain point you realize, like, uh-oh, he might have me beat here.
yeah, when he said he had a straight, I was a little bit nervous, but then like after like 5-10 seconds, I realized he was gonna fold it anyways. But I wasn't gonna show my hand if he didn't show his, you know, because like.
Right.
But once he showed it, I'm like, oh my god, I kind of have to hurt him. It's like a free roll to hurt him, you know.
Well, that was, to me, was the best part of this entire
so
thing.
I had to do it, yeah.
Was you got kind of coolered later on. I think it was queens into
Queens
aces
against
or
aces
something.
against.
And I saw you in the elevator. I was like, oh, ElkY, sorry, man, about the queens versus aces. And it's like, you didn't even remember that hand. You're like, yeah, but what about when I bluffed Davide with the off his straight? That was pretty sick. And then
That's a
I
much
heard
sicker hand.
you got off the elevator and laughed all the way down the hallway. Like I could still hear you laughing as the doors closed.
Yeah, that was a much sicker hand, you know. Queens against aces happens every day, but like bluffing off with a set, it's pretty hard. It's hard what to do.
So just to cover off the first 2 hands of 9-handed play, the first one was raise and take it for Roman Harold. On the second hand, he 3-bet Pascal Voss and won. So Harold is now the chip leader with 5 million. Now this hand, we saw an under-the-gun raise from Roman Koronev, and Robert Haig just called. So an early position, under-the-gun raise, an early position call. Anyone want to squeeze? Anyone else want to come along for the ride? No, it looks like we're going heads up to the flop. Queen 7 tray with 2 clubs.
Roman Koronev is one of the shortest stack, right? And he raised another gun, so it's probably a bad spot to try to squeeze one of the shortest stack who raise another gun 9-handed. Especially at that spot at a pre-final table bubble. It's definitely like, I don't know how he's been playing, but he can definitely represent a really strong hand here, because mostly
Well, yeah, he's probably
most players will give him credit for him, yeah.
Yeah, he's an online qualifier. He's under the gun. He's short-ish. Short test.
He continues for 150k.
I always kind of root for the online qualifiers to at least make the final table. Good for the game.
Yeah, I mean, every player at this spot, they really want to make the final table, so definitely when he's like the shortest, but he's definitely not short enough to. He's short, but he can really wait for a spot anyways.
That's a call.
Five diamonds on the turn.
Does Koronev keep firing? No, he does not. He slows down. That looks like a big bet.
360,000.
So exactly half pot.
Nice bit of leveraging, Haig.
I mean, you expect him, he's going to bet all the time here once Kornev checks. Kornev forced to give it up.
So Kornev remains the shortest stack at the table.
Yeah, it's very hard for Kornev to keep up without a very strong hand. But actually, he should definitely. I think if he has a very big hand, he should probably check it on the turn also, because it's gonna be too much strength to barrel if he barrels it turn again. So if he had a big hand, he should have checked it. But
What do you consider to be a big hand? Is Ace Queen considered a big hand, or are you firing?
Ace Queen is big enough. Ace Queen is big enough to check it. I think, yeah.
So Kornev down to 1.3 million.
How about King Queen?
King Queen is probably the threshold. Yeah, under that is not really big, but I don't think he raises Queen Jack and does a gun in that spot anyways.
Right.
I don't even know if he raises King Queen. It's player dependent.
ElkY, as far as EPT main events are concerned, I think I'm right in saying you've been at this point 3 times before. You obviously made the final table of Copenhagen in Season 3, where you finished second. Then there was the PCA, which you went on to win. And then there was Deauville.
Oh, that was hurt. That hurt.
That's where you were the final
ninth.
table bubble boy. So you know how it feels to be so close and be that 9th place finisher.
That sucks.
But from your experience at this stage of the tournament, I mean, how tight is it?
It's usually pretty tight. It kind of depends. I mean, in Deauville, it definitely was less tight in Deauville because French players don't even when they play tight, they're probably looser than the than the German and American players. So even when they try to play tight, it's play tighten up a lot compared to the normal situation, you know. But French and Italians, they can't really play that tight. So, but here Germans, they can probably play pretty tight. We usually tighten up a lot too because it's just a redraw. It's a redraw to 9, right? So whenever they make a new table, I think in average play pretty tight because they kind of don't necessarily have so much idea of how the player plays and kind of try to catch a vibe for the table. So that and the fact that it's a pre-final table bubble, it usually makes for pretty tight play for a while.
Remember, this will be the seat draw for tomorrow's final table.
Just minus 1 less person.
Especially now because they're all pretty deep. They're really deep actually. Besides KNF and Thomas, that they don't really need to get involved with marginal hand or take marginal spots.
So Pidun has 3-bet Pascal Voss. Nick Malanen says, listening to ElkY laugh and talk is curing my hangover. So sick.
Nice.
And Ian Bradley says, please tell me ElkY is not still rocking the kimono. Pleased to say that was a one-off.
That was only one-off. But maybe I'll do it again one day. But
did you find when you were wearing the kimono, it was too easy for people to tell when you had the nuts?
That was really good timing, you know, because it was super hot. There was AC broke down in Barcelona.
It was very hot. Yeah.
I was really lucky actually. AC broke down and everybody was sweating so much, and I just had a kimono, so I was really comfortable. Comfort-wise, it's pretty good actually.
I just don't know how comfortable it was for everyone else. The kimono set me up for tons of jokes on the EPT TV shows.
Oh yeah? I'll do something again from, I don't know when. Maybe when I go. I'm not sure.
I think I'm going to be rocking a tuxedo in Monaco. A very cheap tuxedo.
You're going to be?
Yeah.
Yeah?
For some of the TV shows, we're going to do some gags where I'm going to...
Oh yeah, there's TV in Monaco. That's nice.
Yeah.
Joe had an email yesterday where they asked him to get a tuxedo, and the money in the budget for the tuxedo, £200.
ElkY spends more money than that on hair dye.
You can rent a nice one though.
I could rent one. That's
you can rent a real one, yeah.
Something tells me that tuxedo is not going to survive
the TV show.
Yeah. I mean, it goes without saying that this is often one of the slowest parts of an EPT main event. No one wants to bubble that final table. There's not just the money jump associated, but also the prestige of making the final. And sometimes we've got through, I don't want to jinx us, but 3 or 4 full levels of 9-handed play.
Yeah, it can definitely happen with those stacks, especially when nobody's very stacked, when nobody's very short.
By the way, if I went out 9th in an EPT, you can bet your bottom dollar that I would say I made a final table.
Would not be recorded in the official statistics.
Have those guys, any of those guys made a final table before? No, it's all their first time there. Also, yeah, probably.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, obviously we've talked about Daniel Puddin going deep in EPT Berlin over the last couple of years, but I don't think he made the final table on those previous occasions. Pretty sure all these guys are new to the party.
Got an under-the-gun raise.
And we're hearing that for Lasse Frost, this is his first major live tournament. Neil says that if he makes the final table, he'll probably get intensive final table coaching from Yannick Rang, Frederick Brink, and Simon Ravensbeck.
Todd Hawkins tweets in to say, have to say a big thanks to ElkY for his book, Razor's Edge. A ton of great info. And thanks to you all for great EPT lives.
I'm really glad you guys like it, you know. I try to it's pretty hard to write a book actually. It's so much harder than it was expected. It took me like almost 1 year to write it and I only wrote like 50% of it myself, so it was kind of...
Gotta try reading that, see if it comes out in ElkY's voice.
I'm going to wait for the audiobook version.
Yeah, that's what I should do. I should read it as an audio book.
Oh man, that would be so fun.
But nobody would understand it too. It's like a secret code too, because like not many people would understand me talking.
What would be awesome, like most audiobooks have to be on like several CDs and take days to listen to. Your one could be like on a 30-minute file, and you just get through it.
Yeah, it's a genius idea.
Yeah, but don't forget all the extra words he's going to add in, so it kind of balances out. Called in 2 spots by Haig and Aliev. Both players out of position to the original Razor. Helbig pretty confidently continuing here. 175.
I think Haig should have a pretty decent hand to call in that spot. It probably has like middle pocket pairs a lot, or like suited boardways a lot also, because out of position I guess an under the gun Razor, if he had like a monster, you would probably, I would guess you wouldn't slow play it.
Haig calls.
ElkY, did you just send that tweet while you were commentating?
Oh, sick, huh? Sick. Actually, I have this program that sends the tweets for you. You know, like this tweet deck, you can you can time it.
Oh, I see.
So you can release the tweets when like people can.
Wait, what app is that times it?
Huh?
What app is it that times tweets?
Well, you can do it on a computer. So you open TweetDeck and you send a tweet, type a tweet, and then you time it basically.
Really?
So whenever the time comes, you're just gonna tweet it.
You embargo
awesome.
your tweets.
So you can tweet when you're in the plane or something. So it's like magic.
I love that.
I think other programs must have it too now. I know TweetDeck does it, but there must be. I think most of the programs they should have this option.
This pot's getting big.
So Helbig continued for 175,000. Haig called.
And if min raise, that's like a weird sizing. Yeah, that's a weird sizing. That'd be so sick if you had a bluff there.
Looks like Helbig must have an actual piece of this board.
Yeah, the order should have. I mean, IDF is the one that could have the least because, but I think Elbig now is that he's thinking he has one for sure, and Haig wouldn't. I think he would. If he started to take down this spot, he wouldn't like check call. It's not like the kind of board that you want to check call float with like air to take it down, especially from the small blind out of position. It's just too like it's way too creative. Plus, he should have a stronger hand than IDF to begin with to flat from the small blind, I think.
Helbig out of there. So we're expecting Haig to at least have like a big draw here a lot of the time, right?
Yeah, at least. Good if you have king queen. You could have king queen off or king queen of hearts. I think.
Yeah, king queen of hearts jumped to mind.
That's a pretty action card too, actually. Cause
A lot of two pairs out there now. Tons of Broadway.
I wouldn't really expect any of them to have 9-10 though. I mean, definitely not. That would be the pretty weird play for RDF to check min raise 9-10 on the flop. I wouldn't expect Egg to flat with it either, but
Weirder things have happened.
Aliev not slowing down.
Actually,
That's 400K.
and he bets 400.
that's pretty small though. 'Cause it's like a third of the pot.
Feels big.
A lot of chips.
This hand is so seek.
It doesn't seem like he's gonna fold.
He calls.
All right.
So now we have a pot of over 2 million. And the board pairs on the river. And it goes check, check.
King queen.
Queen jack, no? Queen jack for IDF and what for what? They both have queen jack? Oh, sick.
Ah.
Well, you know what they say. Everyone loves a chop pot. Chop pot.
Boy, that's a hand where you're pretty strong, but you are sweating it.
ElkY, I can't believe we've left it this long to ask the question. Obviously, when we had you on our feature table, people were saying, wow, ElkY looks like my grandmother. What is going on with the hair?
Oh, it was really blue before actually. I don't know if you guys saw, but now it's just like kind of faded, so I need to go back to blonde, but no time. I will do it for Monaco for sure. I'll do something back, yeah. Blonde probably.
It definitely had that air of kind of like blue rinse. Kind of, you know.
There's two wins. Actually, it was looking too blue first, and at one time there was like a specific time where it was looking good, but now it's like looking way too washed off. It's not good.
A request from the gallery, ElkY. Pink, please.
Pink,
I think you're maybe one of the only people on the planet that could pull off pink hair. I think you've had pink before, haven't you?
yeah, it was kind of a mistake. It was supposed to be red, and it turned like pink after I washed it one time. I washed it once, and it became pink. I was in Korea, but I don't know. Maybe.
Here's a question.
I wanted to do some side bet with Eugene when we have one of us has to do pink hair, but he doesn't want to. What the fuck? He's so tight.
Here's a question then, ElkY. If they were to make, and I'm sure one day they will, ElkY the movie, who would you like to see in the starring role? Who can bring ElkY to life on the big screen?
Will Smith.
Let me think. Let me think about it. That would be. Damn.
Maybe we could open this to the audience. If they were going to make a movie about ElkY's life, who should play ElkY in the motion picture? nuts@pokerstars.tv for your emails. Tweet, hashtag EPT Live.
And I would like people to not just consider lookalikes, but also what sort of actor could actually pull off ElkY. I don't know if anyone could.
Well, you know, we want an actor who could work with a dialect coach to perfect the French accent, the ability to speak really quickly, say so sick a lot, throwing in random swear words. This is the kind of thing we need.
I think Edward Norton would be pretty good, maybe.
Oh, Ed Norton. One of our producers. You nailed it. I think Jim Carrey, how about?
Yeah, Jim Carrey probably too.
He's got the acting chops, you know what I mean? He's a little older than you.
You do realize, though, that whoever is going to play ElkY on screen is going to have to work with Lincoln for a year to get the same
and also
physical shape.
Is going to have to eat a lot of pot noodle, I think, just to get just to crawl inside ElkY's brain.
I'm sorry that we don't have any.
He's going to have to stage in Korea for 1 year to eat pot noodle for 1 year and then train for 1 year straight. So it's going to be like
it's going to be the role of a lifetime.
Long preparation.
I'm sorry, by the way, that we don't have any kimchi noodles for you. It was an oversight, and we've actually fired a member of our crew for that.
For missing the kimchi noodles?
Yeah.
What do you think about Daniel Day-Lewis?
Well, yeah, it could be really good too.
He's got the chops. This pot's gone to the flop, by the way. Roman Harold.
He was the pre-flop aggressor. Made it 125,000. It's Robert Haig who's called.
Robert Haig is involved in a pot, it seems. Involved in a lot of pot, but it's probably just.
I think Robert Haig would be played by DJ Qualls.
He bet? How much he bet? I'm not following the.
Betting a call on the flop, 9 on the turn. Ooh, Robbie with a great call. Ryan Gosling.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Think the age is right. He's got the acting chops. He's a little bit nutty, just like ElkY.
Yeah, I think that would be good too.
Then we're going to have to start casting all the supporting characters. Who's going to play Eugene?
Oliver Platt.
Oh, thinking in that hand.
Harold betting again. And this time the bet's going to get it done. A lot of people calling for Adrian Brody to play ElkY in ElkY the movie.
Yeah, damn, I want the movie to happen now. It's too early, so it's too early.
Justin writes in to say ElkY can't have pink hair. That is copyrighted by Guillaume Darcourt.
Oh yeah, that's kind of true. If he would be upset if he. Also, he has blonde hair now. Do you see that? Oh my god.
He wouldn't actually. There was another Triple Crown.
He turned.
Another Triple Crown winner used to have pink hair.
Gavin Griffin.
Gavin Griffin.
Quick reminder of the password for today's EPT Live free roll. If you want to play this game, it's going to kick off at 8:15 Central European Time. Get registered using that password, Neil J. Let's just check at the lobby. It's just over half full, 17,000 runners, so there are spots for 23,000, 13,000 more. Simple mathematics, James, not that difficult. Some more suggestions.
Math is hard, James.
Some more suggestions for who could play ElkY on screen. Keenan says Johnny Depp. Yeah. Liam says Ben Stiller, based on Zoolander alone.
Oh, that.
Alex nominates.
I like that a lot, actually.
Yeah, Ben Stiller.
Alex nominates Shia LaBeouf. Tom says, how about Vin Diesel?
Vin Diesel?
No. Billy Crystal? Michael Fassbender? Yeah, he could possibly pull it off. Oh, that's a good one. Ian Bradley, John Turturro.
Who's John Turturro?
That's really good.
John Turturro is you don't the Jesus on the Big Lebowski.
Let's give ElkY
Heath Ledger. Heath Ledger would be good.
a little bit of help.
That would be really sick. If you can revive him eventually to when technology is there.
Frank
When
says,
science gets there, you can revive him and make him play my war.
See, John Turturro is a little bit old. He'd probably have to play the older ElkY.
how about Vincent Cassell? We got that from Joe Foley and also Gianni. Frank says Jean Dujardin.
Yeah, Jean Dujardin is pretty good.
Sam Rockwell.
Alexander says Rob Schneider. I actually could see that. Sandra, obviously big fan of yours, ElkY. Matthew McConaughey.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, what the hell?
Yeah, I should have seen this hand. It was so sick. Really sick hand.
Andrea says, how about Christian Bale?
Dolph Lundgren.
Dolph Lundgren.
That's from Luke.
It's gonna be hard to get the
Lichtenstein.
same accent as me. His accent is a bit.
Keenan says John Krasinski as Eugene. I like that.
Howard is involved in every pot now. I mean, as long as he's winning them, why not?
John Costello nominates Steve Buscemi. Christoph Waltz. Interesting. So Voss raised under the gun. And Harold called in relative early position. Voss has continued on this flop for 135,000. And the C-bet wins him the pot. Stack watch. Roman Koronev, the low man at the table, now down to 20 big blinds.
Not really danger. I mean, he can hang on for a while still.
Especially nine-handed, and play is not going so fast either, so it's gonna be like.
How about this idea that ElkY plays himself, but Bruce Willis is in the supporting role as Eugene Kachalov?
Bruce Willis.
I'd go see that movie. Oh, I like this unpronounceable first name. Burberry says Jeremy Renner for Eugene.
Oh, that's a good one.
I think we got that one locked up.
Who's Jeremy Renner?
He is Hawkeye, Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunter,
Oh, watch that.
The Hurt Locker.
Born Legacy.
Oh yeah, the new
Born
Bourne
Legacy?
movie.
Oh, I didn't see that one either. I saw the one with.
Oh, The Town. Yeah, that was a good one.
Now, is that nomination of Jason Statham for ElkY or for Eugene?
I think Jason Statham should play them both in dual roles, like double impact.
Oh, Johnny Cage would be good too, actually.
Who?
No, what's that guy's name?
Jean-Claude Van
No,
Damme.
Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas
Nicolas
Cage.
Cage.
Nicolas
Yeah, I
Cage
can
is
see
good.
that. He's just as wacky as
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, I think it would be good.
How about Eminem playing ElkY in the movie? He couldn't even play himself.
I think a good one for Eugene might be Matt Damon. Well, this is what it's like sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, on the 9-handed final table bubble. It takes a while. But what ends up happening...
Hey, we did have one shot on, though. One shot.
I mean, sometimes there's a cold deck and things end very quickly, but what ends up happening is the longer these guys drag this out, the shallower everyone is for the final table tomorrow. And you end up getting a little less play.
But more action.
More action is true.
ElkY, I know we spoke in detail earlier on about that hand against Davide Katai. Florian says, ElkY, could you just please elaborate? When you made that move on the river, was that a bluff or a value bet?
I mean, mostly I thought it was for... Oh, the guy 40 on ace. Pretty sick. Whoa, sick.
Well, he's pretty early, right? In 20 big blinds. Little insight to his ranges, though.
It's probably... What the hell? They're all showing what they're 40.
Anyone else want to accidentally expose their hand?
It's pretty tricky. He probably doesn't even 40 no more. Would be 6.
Oh, you think that's like an angle?
Just like angle shows like ace 10 suited, another gun plus 1, and they're like everybody thinks you're gonna 40 it, and then when you actually raise, they're like what?
So ElkY was just about to answer the question. Value bet or bluff? We need to know what was going through the mind of the Elkster.
I think it was much more likely a value bet more often for value, but there was a slight chance that he could work as a bluff also, and he kind of worked as a bluff. But I definitely thought he had more like sets in his range, sets or 2-pair combination in his range, and although he had like probably like almost 0 flush.
Real quick here. Beeblebreed says the ElkY movie with Bruce Willis should be called Die Hard. D-Y-E.
Oh, corny but good.
Love it.
Corny but good.
Gold star.
They're playing pretty slow actually.
That has been the story of today.
I mean, especially in that spot, when you big blind got min raised by a small blind, it kind of happens a lot. You shouldn't. It's not like the sickest spot ever. They should have this shot clock tournament.
We've got an email from Glenn Chorney. He says, hi, guys, it's Glenn Chorney. I just had a comment that I think the greatest movie to ever involve ElkY would be if ElkY played Bernie in a Weekend at Bernie's remake. If we need someone to play ElkY for his own movie, then we could use Gary Busey.
Gary Busey?
See you in Monaco next week.
Wow, Glenn Chorney has not been on the tour for a while. I mean, Glenn won the grand final back in season 4. I'm going to see him back in Monaco.
Coming back to defend the title 5 seasons later. In Glenn Chorney's movie, it would be a 5-year intensive training montage. Fold, 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 fold.
Huh? Is he all in? He's not all in. Oh, that's.
Sometimes there's misclicks.
He flatted, right? Yeah. Oh, he just limped.
No, I made it 125.
Okay. I thought he was. It looks like you want to 3-bet it.
He does 3-bet it. It's like a
255.
almost a min 3-bet.
Yeah, it is 255.
Technically, you could make it 190.
I guess it's not a min. I guess
yeah.
it's just over. I'm sorry, almost
2x,
double,
2x.
almost 2x. Yes.
It's like a min for French people.
That's right. It's a Deauville.
You've been in France for too long.
Bet.
Aliyev calls the 3-bet out of position. Flop, Jack 6-4. Aliyev checks, and Voss continues.
If you're Aliyev and you've totally missed this flop, Elk, it's pretty tough.
I mean, yeah, if you miss this flop, it's probably like, I don't know. It's kind of hard to put a move. Also, because you mean check raise with close to the nuts last time, you could put it off, but it's...
Well, it's harder to sort of rep a big hand there on
Yeah,
that
it's super
board.
hard, yeah. So I prefer board for Voss to continue because, like, he's gonna miss most of what Aliyev had, and even if Aliyev has a, like, mid pair, it's pretty tough spot because he's gonna be out of position. He can get bluffed off later much easier.
Okay, how do you think the various different stack sizes should be playing specifically right now on the final table bubble? Is it better for most of the like middle ones to just sort of hang out and wait and let the big stacks chip up and beat on the little ones?
I mean, not really, because like they're not like that short that they have to wait. They have to wait, especially because nobody in that short. They can't really wait. Otherwise, like if they all wait for him to for someone to bust, it's gonna take forever, and the short stack and the bigger stacks are gonna give like way too big for the final table. So if you kind of wanna like preserve your chances, you shouldn't like.
So you should be playing just pretty much your normal game at this point?
Yeah, pretty close, I think. I mean, like it's gonna be obviously you should adapt it. Obviously because the whole game is kind of tighter. But 3-bet, I think they still 3-bet pretty often actually. Like overall, it's pretty tight, but the 3-bet range, everybody's 3-betting pretty light. I think it's pretty good spot to 4-bet, to code 4-bet. Pretty light for some of them because they can.
Just because there's a lot of scared money out there.
Because it can be looking very strong also, and also because like these are not that big in the 4-bet. They're probably like not expected. People are not gonna expect them to do it so light. You know, if you're like code 4-bet, like 20% of your stack, they're probably gonna expect you to have a big hand in those spots.
Obviously, you want to pick a good spot to do that in, because you don't want to run into an actual big hand.
I mean, like Voss and Harold are probably the guys that 3-bet. They would 3-bet more the wider at this final table, I think.
Well, Frost is raised here and is called on the button by Padoon.
They're both pretty deep.
Action on Thomas in the big blind who folds. So, yeah, they are pretty deep. Hijack V button. Frost out of position with the betting lead. Frost continues for 130.
130, I think, yeah.
Barely bigger than his pre-flop raise. And gets a fairly quick call from Padun. Now, typically I'd say that, you know, just kind of calling in that spot looks pretty strong, but since the C-bet wasn't very big, do you think he's calling a little bit wider?
A little bit, but I think when he calls that fast, it cannot be too wide. It cannot be. It's not gonna be like. He's not gonna have monsters probably, but it's not gonna be like. I think if he was like a little bit weaker, it would take a little bit more time to call and consider. Because like from the way he acted, it feels like he would have called any bet. I mean like any like standard bet, obviously not like.
And Padun bets real small again. This time for 180, it looks like. Is this just him like with an absolute monster, just like destroying this flop with like king, queen, or better, and he's just, or even just a really strong king? We're gonna find out, I guess, because there's a raise. Just not sure why you would bet your bluff so small. It's raised to 335,000.
No way. He's
Hang on a
way more
second,
than
you
that.
can't do that.
He's way more than that. Is it?
No. He's tried to re-raise to 335,000, but a min raises to 360. His numbers are out.
There we go.
Okay.
Still a min raise, the smallest raise possible.
A lot of min raises at the final table, but I think like yeah, as the tournament gets really deep, min raises are used so much more because stacks get shallower and you don't really want to. It's still gonna make for a huge spot, and it's still gonna put like Frost in a really tough spot, no matter what's the size of the raise in that spot. I mean, looks like he wants to call it. Pretty quick call actually.
$1.2 million in the middle. Nine on the river. This time Frost checks. Jack 10 did get there by the river, but I don't think either of these guys is going to turn up with Jack 10 too often.
One of them could have it, but
Having raised
I
the
don't think
turn.
Padun's gonna.
That's Padun who's going to bet pretty small.
Yeah. 350,000.
Which is less than his turn raise, and that's a
call.
quick call.
King Queen? Is it 3 queens?
That is a set of queens. I think we can assume that Frost had a king, at least. That is a big, big pot.
Yeah, Lasse Frost, the one-time tournament chip leader, has taken quite a few knocks in the last couple of levels. He's now down to 3.7 million. And Daniel Guy Pudden is up to 3.66 million. Roman Harold still a chip leader on 5 million. Pascal Voss second on the leaderboard with 4.3. The shortest stack is Roman Koronev, who's now dropped below the 20 big blind mark.
And Padun doesn't 3-bet before the flop with 2 queens. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's a good spot not to trip. I mean,
You can
if it's not
you
gonna
balance
three-bet,
your range right. You get your opponent to barrel on a couple streets.
yeah, it's good. It's good for that, for that, and also for like not letting people behind you squeeze, because you know you can flat like big hands very often. They're not as like inclined to squeeze behind you sometimes. But like mostly, if you think your opponent is opening pretty light, like a lot of the time, and when the blinds are really tight and not likely gonna join, if he's gonna be heads up, it's a good spot to flat with queens, because you don't really want, like, especially at this final table. It seems like people are like respecting 3-bet kind of a lot, and you're not gonna get so much more value from your queen. So if you think like
As the
and
nine
it's
hand.
hiding your hand much better too, because when you 3-bet,
Yeah,
you're pretty
under repping your
when
hand,
you
right?
3-bet, you're representing mostly like tens or better most of the time. So you're kind of playing your hand face up also against some players. It can be like, it's good to be tricky sometimes.
Especially when you're going to flop a set.
As they continue to play nine-handed, we always like to tell you when the guys on the PokerStars blog have written a new piece, and according to their Twitter feed, at PokerStars blog, they've just published some great advice from George Danza, Marvin Rettenmeyer and Paul Berenda on how not to suck. If you want to read the article, you'll find it now, pokerstarsblog.com.
That should be the most popular article ever written. A lot of people out there need to learn how not to suck.
That last hand, raise and take it.
Is it how not to suck at poker? Or just how not to suck
I what?
at life?
Do you know what? I'm going to click on the link in their tweet.
Don't give it all away, though. Is it a video?
It is a video. Some poker advice. Some real pro knowledge in video form. Now available to watch. PokerStars blog.
Ross writes in to say, really, I would like to go back to playing poker too, but I don't want to miss you reading my email and my greeting to ElkY.
Oh, thanks.
Go ahead, Ross. Have at it.
Thanks, Ross. Are you guys gonna do the scoop radio also? What's the incoming scoop?
No Scoop TV this year. We may do W Coop Radio again. It hasn't officially been declared dead yet, but no Scoop. Nothing for Scoop this year. I know. How big all in?
Oh, you got called. You got called instantly. What the hell?
Aliev raising under the gun. Hellbig shoves for 1.3 million.
Queens against ace king.
Aliev wakes up with queens. Hellbig with ace king.
You know what this race is, ElkY?
What?
You know what this race is?
What is?
So
Sick? It's
So
actually
sick.
not. It's actually the only one that's not so sick.
you don't think this is a sick race?
Hellbig needs an
Pretty sick
ace
for
or a
Elvig,
king,
actually.
or we are going to have our final table.
It's pretty sick for Helbig, yeah. Boom.
Oh, there's the ace on the turn. And Hellbig now set for the double up.
That's a sick turn.
No queen on the river. So Hellbig doubles up through Aliev, and their chip stacks kind of reverse. Hellbig now with 3 million, and Aliev down to 1.5 million.
I just think Ace King versus Queens is the sickest race because no one can ever get away from it ever.
I mean, there's some spot you can get away, but it's pretty unlikely. It's pretty hard, especially with how many they have. 25 blinds, you can definitely never.
It's just two monster hands. Both guys deserve to win. Final table bubble continues.
And that's what it takes. Inevitably, it's going to come back down to two massive hands running into each other.
Or just one massive misplay.
Yeah. But usually one of the guys was gonna needs to have a massive hand to take advantage of the massive misplay. So at least one massive hand. And one massive spew.
But that's right, one massive spew can do it too. If you're gonna spew into this.
Since those players are not so much in the mood to spew though. They seem pretty. It's kind of bad timing to spew. They would regret it. trying to calm himself down by putting his hand into his head. What? That's kind of weird. That's kind of he's like warning. He's like.
Voss's turn to raise.
Does ElkY want a huge hand here, or does he want to have an easy fold? He wants an easy fold.
A tweet from Pete says, "Hey ElkY, you are an absolute legend.
Ledge.
Will you be playing in Scoop, and if so, what events are you like to play? Hashtag #1fan, hashtag so sick."
I'll be playing for Scoop for sure. Yeah, I kind of miss it, but I'm gonna miss it a bit because like it like overlaps with the grand final in Monaco, and then I'm gonna be flying to Vancouver, I think, to play. So it's gonna those few days. So I'm gonna be starting playing from the 17th, I think, 17th, 18th, and then I'll play on all the events until the end, including the main event. Obviously, that's gonna be like courtesy of Full Tilt, because we all won like one main event seat by beating Full Tilt at London.
Oh, you
nice.
guys got main event seats for that.
Yeah,
Nice.
free world.
You were undefeated in your match, right?
Yeah.
It was
But
only
then
Ike that lost one?
Yeah, I lost one with a fish.
Oh, you lost one.
No, Ike lost one.
Oh, Ike
I
lost
didn't-
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're right. What a fish, that Ike Axon. To quote Freddie Deeb, what a loser nerd. Just kidding, Ike.
Yeah, Hike is the best, obviously.
Ike is
really so sick.
incredible.
That's a very small tree bed, isn't it? Looks super small, like minimum.
So
This is 1E?
maybe it's just a call.
No, it's not. I think it's 1E. That's weird.
And that's the legit.
Oh, 280.
280.
280?
I was going to say, if it's to 180, that is legitimately a min 3-bet.
If it's 280, it looks like 180. I think they missed. Look,
Yeah, it does not look like 280.
it looks much more like 180 than 280. If I had to side bet on that against the guys that make the...
There's no 100K chips out yet. Can we get a double check on that?
It looks like 180 to me rather than 280, that's for sure.
You can get some action too. Obviously, folding is not an option for Voss now.
Yeah, for
but
60 mark. He just gave like an unbelievable price
Yeah.
to call this 3-bet. Wonder if that's a misclick, intentional.
So we'll just clarify that, because at the moment our pot size on the screen is distorted. It's actually a minimum 3-bet to 180, not to 280.
No, he's gonna bet 210 or something. I think 210.
I mean,
After trick to him. 220.
Badune's been
20.
sizing his 3-bets pretty normally most of the time, and he's been on our feature table a lot. So I'm
Yeah.
kind of suspicious of a 3-bet so small.
So graphics just catching up with the action. We have a pot of
That's kind of weird,
540,000.
yeah. That's good if he has like. I think I would prefer to do it with a weaker hand to take the lead in the hand, because if you do it with like a big hand, it basically like puts no more money in free flop and kind of give up the strength of your hand. Kind of play your hand face up, but gives up a lot of information about your hand for just
You think
like
it's
60
too
game up.
obvious to make a small, like a tiny 3-bet with a monster?
I mean, it's kind of obvious, and also you don't really get, you only get like 60 more when you calls it. You get like 1 blind extra. I mean, like, unless you think he has like, but even then, even if you think he has also a really strong hand, he's gonna 4-bet. Sometimes you can induce a 4-bet against some kind of players, I guess, because they're like,
Right.
because it's like a cheap 4-bet, obviously, but
Well, he's going to get raised here.
Voss with the check raise.
And if he does have a monster, you know, he priced Voss into calling with, you know, all kinds of pairs, which he may have called with anyway. But I'd say, like, I mean, he's repping a set here, isn't he? Right now with this raise?
a set or 2 pair, I guess.
495,000.
That's the other thing. I mean, if he did have a hand that would make 2 pair here,
Yeah,
that
he would
tiny
have probably
3-bet is really going to...
Yeah, he probably would have 40 to a normal 3-bet, like 2.5x the normal amount, or like whatever.
Maybe Voss just smells blood in the water here.
But now it's a really tough spot because the
Padoon folds.
Yeah. Even if Peter has an overpair, it's like super hard to play on that kind of board because like he's not gonna like any turn basically. Besides if he makes a set.
That was an interesting hand.
So we talk about the fact that Daniel Guy-Puddin has gone deep in this tournament every time he's played it. Last year he finished 17th. The year before, 2011, that's the year Ben Wolinovsky won it, he was the final table bubble boy. He was the guy who went out in 9th. So obviously very keen for history not to repeat itself here in Berlin in 2013. ElkY, this is a good question for you from Dimitri on the emails. Does your game change when you play against close friends? Let's take an example. You're heads up against Eugene. Would you be prepared to chop the prize money equally even if you were like 2-to-1 chip favourite?
I wouldn't do that, no way.
He means it.
I mean, it changes because I usually respect the poker skill of my friends, but it doesn't really change otherwise because I think I think it's unethical to change your game because of your friends because you don't want to buzz them or something. It doesn't make sense. You know, you have to play your game all the time. Of course, I'm not gonna look especially to play like a lot of hands against them because I respect their poker skills. So I'm not especially like there might be some close spots because I think they're good and like that you could like play less hands against them, but like if I have a hand I have to play, I'm definitely not gonna. I don't think it changes the game at all. It's just like the same that I would play against the players that I respect his game, and I definitely would never trap it if I was 2-to-1 favorite. No way. Probably not if I was. Probably if I was even. If it was even, maybe. But
how about when it comes to trapping? Are you going to try to trap your friends as much? Or are you going to play more straightforward?
I mean, I don't know. It depends on the tendencies. I could try to trap. I could try to trap them sometimes. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Because like they would like. Yeah, I could trap them sometimes. I mean, maybe a little bit less. It kind of depends on the tendencies also, you know. You kind of, like if there's other guys that like to barrel off and like, but like Eugene is not usually barreling off so much. Like,
Against
he's not bluffing. I don't think he will bluff me that much, so it makes less sense, a little bit less sense to trap him somehow. Unless I
so it kind of it's like a two-way street because you guys aren't likely to play unnecessary huge pots with each other. It makes it harder for y'all to trap each other too.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, that's why I wouldn't do it, but not because if I feel like he would like keep barreling off if I trap him, I don't mind trapping him. You know, I mean it's part of the game, and I think you can be really good friend outside of the game, but at the poker table you can't like. Also, I think it's unethical to just play differently against your friends because it's like it's not good for the game if like. Even if it's not colluding, if you like avoid too much playing with your friend or something, it's not really fair to the other players.
Justin has a question for you, ElkY, on emails, nuts@pokerstars.tv. Are you planning on playing the full grand final schedule? So obviously the main event, and will you play the super high roller after the main event?
Yes, I'll play everything at the grand final, for sure. It's gonna be a really crazy schedule too. But no scoop. I mean scoop after the grand final probably, because it's gonna be. I'd rather focus like when I play a super high roller and not stay up all night for the scoop. I mean it's too time zone 1 is too tough to do both.
Koronev raising with the smallest stack here.
That's Haig.
That is Haig.
And this is the second hand in a row, by the way, that he's raised. Last time it was raise and take it. This time he's met some resistance.
Is that a 3-bet?
Yeah, 225,000.
Okay, ElkY 3-betting
That looks super
with the
strong.
second biggest stack,
Yeah, that
shortest stack.
That looks super
Dang
strong because he has like... Oh, got pretty fast.
And Haig calls. So ElkY with 1.4 million behind. A king 5-4 flop.
Check. Bet. Is that 210?
Fold.
Fold. 260 was the bet. So ElkY chips up a little bit, up to 1.75 million now.
Fox on Twitter asks, ElkY, do you play poker as fast as you speak English?
I used to. Actually, I've been playing kind of slower lately, especially live. Online, I play much faster, but live, I've been playing too slow. I should go back to my fast style as usual. I think I used to play much faster, but lately I've been, you know,
I feel kind of bad, ElkY, actually, because I used to, on all my broadcasts and commentaries, talk about how lucky you were and running good, and I feel like you've actually run really bad lately.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. Like the last time I won was a high order here last year, actually, and I didn't even win it again this year. How sick is that? But it's gonna turn around usually. I usually do good at grand final.
But every time I look at you, you're just catching some crazy cooler, and the ElkY of old, I feel like, would occasionally get it in bad, not in a horrible spot, but just like, you know, queens versus aces like we saw, and would occasionally bink the queen.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen that happen in a long time.
That's supposed to happen. I mean, even if you have 20%, you're supposed to, one time out of 5, you're supposed to bink it. That's true. Hasn't been the best run, but that's part of the game. Also, it makes it, when you run good, you appreciate it even more every time, because like you forget, almost remember what it is to lose now. Sometimes you forget what it is to lose, then you don't. No, I appreciate winning more. I appreciate winning so much more when I win again in Monaco.
You're forgetting something.
But I used to play much faster, and now like I think, I don't know, everybody people around me are playing so slow at the live poker, so I just adapt to it and I play kind of slower too, because I don't want them to feel bad for being so slow. I don't know.
Frost raising the button. And Daniel Gaypuden will defend his big blind.
King Jack 7, 2 hearts. Doing checks to the razor. Who continues? Pretty small, looks like 100 maybe? 125? Queen on the turn. Check, check now.
That's a boring mirror.
Doing his bet.
$375.
Pretty tough to make this call without an ace, eh?
Yeah.
And Frost lets it go. Superdoom picks up almost $1 million there. 600K, excluding his river bet.
We haven't had the question from Sam on the emails, have we?
No, go ahead.
He says, and he's coming at this from a cash game perspective, and obviously this is probably where tournament strategy differs, ElkY. He says, if you're in the big blind facing a min raise, you have to call 60k for a 360k pot, so you're getting 5 to 1. Surely it's profitable to call there with a huge range, but as a cash game player, maybe I'm missing something here.
Well, I mean, you can't really think about the direct odds also. There's the fact that you're gonna be out of position for free streets, so you're gonna have like it's very much harder to play out of position for free streets, and also like if you play with a huge range, you're much more likely to be dominated because like especially in those spots. I mean, I guess the button it's like different because people like can open any two. It's obviously way different, but like when you face like another gun raise, you usually have a like very strong range, and it's not that profitable to play like a very wide range out of position on free streets, I think.
There's also the fact that, you know, in a cash game, you're playing deep stacked.
And you're playing much deeper also in cash game, and here like when you are like 40 blinds deep, if you have like you don't really want to get in with top pair and weak kicker in tournaments. It's it's a way different game.
Koronev, the raiser here. He's the shortest stack at the table. He's made it 120,000.
Might have Pascal Voss looks like he's interested in playing. I mean, too bad.
I think poor man's James Woods is asleep under those sunglasses.
That's pretty big actually.
He's woken up.
No, I'm saying Koronev looks like James Woods.
Oh. I can't see what anyone looks like because they're all wearing sunglasses. So this is a 3-bet to 255,000.
All in.
All in.
It's probably gonna get called because there's only 1 million. I wouldn't think Voss should, after taking so long, but I think so long, he's probably gonna have a plan. He's planning probably to call a shove when you 3-bet in that spot. I think that's why he's gonna call fast.
There's the call.
He calls. So Koronev, the short stack, at risk.
Is king?
Have we got a race on our hands?
King.
No, it's worse than a race because kings is the hand for Koronev.
Oh, it's kind of a race, just like someone is. He's behind in the race. He's got a handicap.
It is
Queen? Is Queen suited?
Two-legged race versus a one-legged race.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
So the hand for Voss
Is Queen suited?
is ace
Queen
queen
off.
offsuit.
Oh, it's Queen.
So diamonds aren't working for him, but hearts are. Best case scenario is to see an ace. Koronev in great shape to double up here. Looks like we're going to continue playing nine-handed.
Best case for who? He's kind of biased. King Jack 10 would be fun actually. Huh?
We like good sweats here, ElkY. I like where your head's at.
That's not so fun. At least a 9 or 10 would be okay.
Not a huge sweat so far.
Yeah, 9 or 10, come on.
ElkY wants. What do you want there, ElkY?
I want some sweat at least.
You want the sweat for the queen straight?
Like those would be so boring.
There you go.
That's
A little bit of a sweat.
a little bit.
Voss can now hit an ace or a queen.
Additional outs.
Running queens will be so dirty.
That'd be pretty sick.
Russians are happy at least.
Koronev doubles up.
And we play on 9-handed.
You know, if those Russians keep getting rowdy, we may have to build a wall to keep them out.
Russians are going to be even more worried in Monaco. There's so many of them in Monaco.
Robert Harbottle says that's the type of race where ElkY hits 2 queens on the flop.
Not anymore.
The ElkY of old?
Yeah.
Yes. Are you worried that you may have used up all your run good in the early years?
I don't believe in that.
He believes in infinite run good.
Yeah, I'm just saying it up for the super high order in Monaco.
So what's the shortest stack now? ElkY?
ElkY, I guess, yeah. This is way bigger than before, so it's much more.
Guess what, Russia? It's another Russian on the short stack.
He's what, 26 odd big blinds, but that said, 8 minutes on the level. Very soon he is going to be at 20 big blinds because we're going to go to 40-80.
Yeah, it's still not that short. They can definitely.
You know, we're very close to the line between where the line used to be between East and West Berlin, and I think it's hilarious that us and the Russians can spy on each other.
Should make a mini war. Should make a mini war
here in the booth. We can sort of hear what they're saying. We see each occasionally shoot glances back and forth. Maybe tomorrow I just show up in like really obnoxious yellow pants and a tracksuit and try to sit down with them. Infiltrate.
That's Ukrainian stuff, right? Those yellow and blue outfit.
Yeah,
Oh,
whatever.
That's more Ukrainian.
It's East.
It's East.
How about the pajama tracksuit that guy was wearing earlier in the week?
Who was wearing it?
James will dig up a picture. I don't know the guy's name, but
it was one of the Russian players, so I think he's actually a good friend of ElkY. How far back am I going to have to scroll to get that picture? Wow.
ElkY is waiting every hand. Wow. Pretty sick.
and ElkY takes this down. Hey guys, how about a free roll? How about a free roll reminder for the kids out there? Does that work?
Works for me.
8:15 p.m. tonight, Central European Time. We're giving away 1,500 simoleons.
By the way, I've registered for this because I'm under the impression that we're probably still going to be here at 8:15.
Of course you're going to be here.
And the password is Neil J, Neilj. You can find that under the events tab.
You can still play, right? Are you guys going to play in the floor?
I'm in.
I don't think I'm going to do it because you're betting against yourself.
You're giving it away, or?
Well, I don't want to play because when play ends, I kind of want to go live my life.
Here we go. This is the track.
That's why you have a mobile device.
This is the tracksuit.
Mobile.
This is the tracksuit I'm talking about.
Whoa, pretty sick.
There's ElkY with his tash, and there is his Russian friend wearing.
Interesting.
That's got to be pajamas, right? I mean, that's not actually an outfit you're meant to wear in the outside world.
Actually, James, I think it's probably a chick magnet.
Russian chick magnet.
Which ain't too bad, if you ask me. If you can get past the hair and fingernails. That would be a good
Voss is
game,
two
Russian
betting
or New
again.
Jersey, right?
Voss is two betting a lot of hands actually. It's probably the highest two bet percentage so far.
Voss is 3-bet.
ElkY just did a Malkovich impersonation.
Yep. Teddy KGV over there. It's weird hearing a Russian guy do an impression of a Russian guy.
I think he's gonna two bet.
The Russian accent, passable.
Yeah, Malkovich was much better.
Looks like you might want to four bet.
He is fingering chips.
Oh, is that a call maybe? No, he's just
It's a
called
call,
it.
yep. Yeah, boss, you better make sure you know what your cards are. Deuce, tray, 5, 2 diamonds.
It's a pretty good flop. I like those flops because it's much less likely to follow a pair in years or ace. And this is like good for the action.
Good for the action, good for the game.
Better than like King 6-4 rainbow.
Does ElkY actually understand how a microphone works? Does he think he has to shout for the people of Russia to hear him?
Hey, buddy. Talking to an occasional shouter over here. Sometimes we get excited.
I wouldn't get too excited just yet. Let's see how this hand develops.
Boss 3-bet, excuse me, continuation betting. Well, it's my turn to hit the wall, I think, everybody.
215,000. Frost, having called that 3-bet pre, out of position. How will he proceed?
He's gonna call that too.
Five on the turn.
Oh, that's a pretty good card. I like it.
2 flush draws. Paired board. Wheel draws galore.
Get the chips in, lads.
You can't really be so worried about paired board on that spot anyways, because like it's kind of unlikely for any of them to have a full house with those card combination.
This isn't a full house trays over deuces type situation, ElkY?
I mean, first could have maybe, but I don't think both would 3-bet freeze in that spot. He might, but it's so unlikely that I don't think they would be worried about drawing dead if they have a side flush draw. Of thinking. That would be sad to check after so much thinking. Oh my god.
Yeah, check, check.
Why can't you just check quicker?
Queen of Hearts on the river. One of the flush draws gets there.
Not bad.
I think maybe more importantly, the queen gets there.
First looks like he wants to bet now.
Likely to be the last hand of the level.
Todd Hawkins has decided that Frost has 2 10s. And Voss has ace queen of diamonds.
Really? I don't think Voss has ace queen of diamonds.
I think maybe he plays this a little harder.
So Frost leads the river.
Pretty small, huh?
240,000.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty small.
Like
into
one fifth of the
1.1 million, yeah.
Comes to the end of the level. The rest of the players at the table are going on break. Well, you might want to stick around, guys. What if this develops? What if this turns out being the last hand of the day?
It won't.
Queens over 5, quad 5s over queens. Hey, it looks like he wants to raise, actually.
It does look like he's counting on a raise. Can you blame him? Such a small bet.
Is he raise?
It is a raise.
Nice.
Just being verified by the dealer.
510?
515.
He could probably raise a queen for value in that spot because it's most likely the best hand, and he could definitely raise flushes also.
How likely do you think he is just to be bluff raising in this spot, sensing just a weak river bet?
That's possible, but I think he might have raised a little bit bigger. It's pretty small raise also. It's almost a min raise. And now it's like he gets a crazy now Voss gets a crazy price because he has to call 270 for like 1.8 million. It's kinda
That is a crazy price, isn't it?
so he's get like more than 6 to 1. So that makes it a little bit less unlikely that he's bluffing, and also I think because he 3-bet preflop is most likely to have like
Call. Voss just
Oh,
mucks.
sick.
He was min bluff raising.
So Frost wins the last hand of the level. And in 20 minutes' time, we will play on 9-handed. We still need to lose one more player until we're down to our final 8. ElkY from Team PokerStars Pro, thank you so much.
Thank you guys. See you again in Monaco. I hope not so much coming inning actually. I hope I see you from the other side.
Thank you very much, ElkY.
Thanks guys.
So join us shortly.
Bye.
The action will continue here from EPT Berlin.